forces and the military leader, General Khalifa Haftar, have reached a dangerous peak. Whilst in South Africa, former President Jacob Zuma is accused of stashing millions for the ousted Libyan strongman Muammar Gaddafi. Not ousted, killed. The money was allegedly moved from Nkandla to Eswatini. Zuma has denied the allegations. International Affairs Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has called them ghost stories. How will the worsening political situation in Libya impact on retrieving the missing Gaddafi billions? What are the legal issues if Jacob Zuma was involved in moving money for him? Tonight we have in the studio international relations expert Charles Sinkala and Naeem Jina, Executive Director of the Afro-Middle East Centre. Good to have you both with us. So two big issues here, right? Both snatching the headlines. Let's start off with Jacob Zuma. What do you know about these allegations?
Yes, it's quite unfortunate that has been flagged as well in the media. You know, we thought having retired from his presidency, he would have a nice time by his house and his family, but unfortunately he keeps on coming back, leading to the courts again. But even having said that...
this could be a big court issue if it were to be true.
Yes, if it is found that it's true that the things were moved to his house or he was involved in the transactions, you know, this will impose serious sanctions onto him. And I'm sure Americans at the moment, they are moving forward with their investigating team because, you know, Colonel Gaddafi had a lot of millions stashed around the continent, or rather the world. Those were foreign reserves for the country itself and his personal investment, you know, and some of them were recovered. We believe from the time it was outset, about $67 billion was recovered, you know, from France, UK.
You can see why Libya wants the money back.
States.
I mean, how plausible is this? I mean, Jacob Zuma was involved in negotiations to try and prevent bombing. So talk us through the relationship, what you know.
Look, there's two sets of Libyan monies that we should be thinking about. The one set is number of assets and cash, etc., that, you know, just down the road, there's the Michelangelo Hotel, for example. Most of these belong to the Libyan investment company, and the South African government's attitude is when you have a government, you know, it's yours. You take control of it. So that is all there. It's above board. It's known, etc. There have been a number of delegations from Libya that have come to the South African government. That has been the response. Then there's this other story about this, these mysterious millions. I mean, certainly not billions. Mysterious millions that were given to Jacob Zuma. Now, there was a point where Gaddafi definitely expressed support for Jacob Zuma in terms of his battle against Thabo Mbeki. Whether he gave Zuma some money at that time for that, it's possible that he did. I would be very surprised if Jacob Zuma got money and had it stashed and hadn't used it up by now. I mean, we know from Zuma's history that he spends more than he makes. No matter how much he makes. So to stash that much of money in his backyard and not use it up, I think it's quite unlikely. And the movement of money from there to the Swazi king and all of those kinds of things, I think there's a lot of sensationalism in this, and I think we should be a bit wary about where the story leads.
What sort of impact do you think the situation in Libya at the moment will have on an investigation like this? Because I believe the Libyan authorities have been in touch with South Africa. Lindiwe Sisulu says it's a ghost story. So how do you think that'll play out?
Yeah, I think her response was pretty premature because, I mean, having received such a huge allegation, you know, she should have engaged the South African investigating team, you know, to investigate and really try to work with the Sunday Times and get the facts. Because I don't think Sunday Times just started talking about this issue from anywhere else. They also, the reporter there, Bongani, actually indicated earlier that he actually contacted the King's office in Eswatini, and as well as President Zuma, that they must give a response to these allegations prior to the releasing of the information in the media, but none of the information they received from them. So it is quite a problematic issue, and I think the Libyan government, they are trying to get back the resources which has been spent or left stashed outside the country.
And excuse me jumping in here, I should imagine that, I mean, they desperately need this money. You've got the civil war